Hey guys, Marshall here from Limited Resources, and here we go. Now it did. Alright, so let's see what we have. Our rare's okay. It's Reverent Hunter, pretty cool card. Can do some work, not too bad. This is one of my favorite cards in the set. It's just really sweet. Hopeful Eidolon, also very good. Feral Invocation's okay. Rage is fine. I mean, there's cards that go into different decks here. Fate Foretold, Triton Tactics, both going like a blue-white heroic type deck. I think it's between these two. I mean, normally picking a gold card first isn't really great, but I'm going to do it anyway because I think it's just the best card in this pack by quite a bit, and I just like the card a lot, so I'm just going to take it. All right, so here's some interesting options. So there's a Gray Merchant. The rare's missing from this pack, but Gray Merchant, as we know, one of the more powerful cards in the set. If we want to stay on the green or blue plan, Griptide, Voyage's End, Feral Invocation, all totally solid. Dissolve's okay too. I think we should probably try to stick here, so I'll take the Voyage's End. Okay, here's another Gray Merchant. This is where things start to get a little scary. We should probably take this one. The only other card for us is a Dissolve anyway, so I'm going to take it here. Here's a Hopeful Eidolon is the best card in this pack, I think. Ill-Tempered Cyclops also quite good. Lots of good white here. Let's just stay totally open. I could take a Fate Foretold, but it's not that exciting. I'll take the Hopeful Eidolon and see where we go. All right, ding. Get in there. I'm going to take this Farika's Cure. Probably over this Lightning Strike. We haven't got any red cards yet, but yeah, let's not go too crazy here. You know, from here we can be black blue or black white. This dream unfortunately will be ending, I think. Here's another Farika's Cure or a Returned Phalanx. I'm gonna go for the Phalanx here. I think that card's a little bit underrated and quite good. It's also a black permanent. And I like black permanents when I have two Gray Merchants. I will also be picking any and all Gray Merchants that we see for the duration of this draft. We've passed one, which is a grave error, but let's see if we can recover. Card did a lot of work at the Pro Tour. I just got back from Dublin doing coverage there of Pro Tour Theros. It was a great event. Hopefully you were able to join us. Day 2 limited action was particularly fun to commentate. Some really nice matches, some great players in the feature match area as well. All right, well, we're just going off here. Rescue from the Underworld. If you guys haven't seen Rescue from the Underworld yet, you can see you sack a dude to go get something back, and then at the beginning of your next upkeep, you get them both. And that works pretty well with this and anything else. So, totally happy to get that. Returned Centaur or Fate Foretold. I'm going to take the Centaur here. It works well with Rescue from the Underworld. It's also just a solid defensive body, and it's a black mana symbol that sits on the battlefield for quite a while usually, so pretty good pickup there. None of these are particularly good. I'll take Loathsome Catoblepus, but not excited to run it. Might not run it. We'll kind of see where we end up here. Kind of like the blue here more than the white, but the white's actually decent too, so Hopeful Eidolon, quite strong. Definitely in the same commentary with his twin, maybe evil brother or sister, Baleful Eidolon, which is really, really good, especially in a deck like this. All right, we got lucky here. Cavern Lampad that late is really nice. Very solid card in a deck like this. Again, it's a creature, so it sits there with the mana symbol on the battlefield, but also it's a nice way to get in a big chunk of damage late. You can throw this on a 2-drop or a 3-drop and pay the 6 bestow and get in for 4 or 5, and when you're running Gray Merchants, it doesn't take much. Take another Return Centaur. Take another Return Centaur. That was not a glitch in the video. Just got back to back, which is fine. I don't know that we'll run all 3 of them, but we'll probably run 1 or 2, depending on how things turn out for the second pack here. So first priority are Gray Merchant. Second is, removal plus whatever. All right, there's a Polis Crusher, Read the Bones, Lash of the Whip, Voyage's End. So lots of good stuff here. I like Read the Bones a ton. I like Voyage's End, that's obvious. And I like Lash of the Whip. So we don't have any real black permanents here this time. So I think it's just between these two cards mainly, Lash of the Whip or Read the Bones. Probably should just take Lash of the Whip, though. Yeah, it is what it is. It's not an amazing card, but it does do what you need to do, which is reach out and kill stuff sometimes. So I'm going to take it here. All right, another rescue, far less exciting, and there's another return, which is also not exciting. But I like the Voyage's End here. I like it a little better than the second Pharika's Cure. You can just kind of get people with Voyage's End, and the fact that it has Scry 1 means that it digs you to these Gray Merchants, which is really good. That's definitely something that you want to be doing. All right, Return Phalanx or Felhide Minotaur. Of those two, I like the Phalanx, especially because we're already in blue, but there's also a Sip of Hemlock, and I think I need to take it. Yeah, I'm going to take it here. I'm going to hide this thing because I don't really want to run it. And I'll hide this Hopeful Eidolon too, I guess. All right, another Sip of Hemlock. There's also a Wave Crash Triton. Yeah, I'll take this sip. 2 sips, a Pharika's Cure, and a Rescue is pretty decent removal already, especially with 2 Voyage's End. So we have to kind of muddle through this pack and hope to find some more black permanents. Disciple of Phoenixes and that kind of thing. But the fact that we did ship 1 Gray Merchant, I know it's kind of crazy because it's just like a random common, but people just love playing this card. I don't actually like doing what we're doing here. I hate being in this deck because there's always somebody else that thinks they're clever and has figured it out and wants to be in there, and you're just like fighting them for all the key cards. But I feel like we got enough of a signal before by getting shipped 3 of them that it's worth it here. And in the third pack, I bet you we'll get another one or something. I'm going to take an Insatiable Harpy here. It's got double black in its mana cost, and it's really good at keeping flyers at bay and creating a threat, as well as just kind of keeping you alive. Scourge Mark. Yeah, I'll take Scourge Mark. Of course, it's not nearly the best card in this pack by a stretch, but there's no real good blue, and there's only good black card, and it really actually does work in a deck like this. It's really weird. You wouldn't think it would, but it's cheap and it replaces itself, because you get to draw a card when it enters the battlefield. And it makes like Return Centaurs block a lot better. Same thing with Gray Merchants, of course. And it makes like this better too, right? And it's a pretty low cost, really, for the fact that it's only 2 mana and replaces itself. All right, Fleshmad Steed or another Scourge Mark. I think I'm going to go with a Steed here. We need blockers. All right. Read the Bones it is. And I guess I could take a Crackling Triton. None of these things are really what we want to be doing. Maybe I should just take an Unknown Shores or a Last Breath. I'll take the Unknown Shores in case there's something that I'm not remembering that we actually want to splash. I think I'm actually going to cut this Feral Invocation. I don't need a 4th Return Centaur. All right, get in there, though. And probably this one, but I'm not going to start either. So, yeah, Disciple of Phoenix and Gray Merchant are kind of the 2 cards that we really, really want now. Take a March of the Return, but I doubt we're going to run it. I kind of like the Rescue from the Underworld a bit better in that slot. March costs a lot more mana. And ultimately does a similar effect. I mean, you do get ahead on cards with March of the Return, but you'd rather just have them on the battlefield right now, I think, most of the time. All right, what do we have? Well, not the all-time best pack. There's a Triad of Fates, a Rescue from the Underworld, and a Fleshmad Steed. What else did we have that was white? Ah, yes, Hopeful Eidolon. Probably still okay to not bother and just stick to the Voyage's Ends and activating this Phalanx. A second rescue from the Underworld isn't really doing us any favors here. Triad is kind of sick, though. You see what you can do with that. So you can put a fate counter on your Gray Merchant and then use the White ability to blink it. And it just gets nasty. There's also just nothing really in this pack outside of a Fleshmad Seed, so I'm just going to take this Triad and kind of... we might actually use it. All right. Really happy to pick up this Keepsake Organ. I was pretty excited to see Return Phalanx, but Keepsake Organ's awesome in this deck. It's double black mana symbols for your Gray Merchants, but also it's just sweet. Like, it just stonewalls them. And Thausa, yeah, whatever. Lash of the Whip, I would probably play another one. And there's a Disciple. That's what we want. I'm going to hide these. And there's another Disciple. Windmill that guy. So we kind of got there. If we can pick up one more Gray Merchant in the next like 2 to 3 picks, this deck would be kind of nuts. If we do not, the deck's still quite good. Take this guy. He can finish the game. He really can. Card can be insane. All right, here's a Sentry of the Underworld. This is getting interesting. Return Phalanx or Viper's Kiss. Probably just want the Phalanx. It depends actually though, because we might actually veer back over into white, play the Eidolon, ditch these 2 Voyage's Ends, and play these guys, because these are very good. If we do that, probably would prefer the Viper's Kiss over the Phalanx, but even then it's close. I'm just going to take the Phalanx, because I think it'll make the cut in either version of the deck that we end up with. None of these will make the cut in any version that we end up with, though. In fact, yeah, just none of them. None of them are good against us either, particularly. I'll just take a Flamecast Wheel because it's the only one that we can actually cast, even though we don't plan on actually casting it. Going to have to be 18 lands here, I believe. Yeah, this might just be the deck. Unknown Shores actually goes a really long way here. I think I'm going to take this, though, just in case we do end up in blue. I might just make 2 builds. All right, there's a Return Phalanx. I really like these. I really, really like them. Even if you can't hardly ever attack with them, they're still pretty good. There's a Viper's Kiss or even a Last Breath. I think I'm still just going to take the Viper's Kiss here, though. I don't think we're going to be able to consistently cast that Last Breath when we want to. Alright, so we passed 1 Gray Merchant, took all the others that we saw. Pretty happy with that. And our cards are quite good. We need to make 1 cut here. I think this is our deck, though. If it's not this, then we run these and not these. And that could just be better. That does open up our Return Phalanx. If we really wanted, we could try to like jam one of these in here too somewhere, because we are kind of a controlling deck. If this was our list, I would probably cut one of this or this. And deck would probably look like this. And that looks pretty sweet to me. But I can also do it like this. Not activate these unless Unknown Shores is in the mix. And just run a couple of random white cards that, I mean, they're quite good. Triad of Fates is already a 3/3 for 4, and you can kind of go off with it too. Voyage's End plus a lot of activations of Return Phalanx doesn't really ask that much of you, which is nice. I think I'll start with this build. And Moto says 15 and 2, that's not going to happen. I think I can go with like this. This gives me 13 black sources and a full 6 white, which is pretty nice. Yeah, I'm going to try it like this, and then I'm going to keep my Voyage's End build in mind. If these don't feel like they're going to be good in a matchup or I don't want to be fussing around, I'll switch back out. All right, we'll see you guys in the first round.